Okay, we are live. Hi, Christy.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. I can hear you too. So far, everything is going well. I am going to just say hello to get the comments going. Post comments, post comment. Just gonna say, come on. Oh, forget it. Okay, so hello. It's Janice from Welcome to Shabs. This is day two of our my 100-day live marathon, and it is also Wednesday night. Hey girls, hi, how are you? As you're popping on, please say hello. Well, not unfortunately, but kind of unfortunately, we're using StreamYard. So in order for me to see your name, you need to click that. There's like a little link that takes you somewhere or you could just tell me your name. So whoever just wrote, hey girls, I only see Facebook users. So let me know who you are. And we are here with Christie Wright, whoop, whoop, of Red Echo Studio. Thank you so much, Christy, for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having
Um, Upcycle by Bree. Woohoo! Thank you, Upcycle by Bree. Well, Bree, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. I've been following Upcycle by Bree a lot lately. I don't know why I wasn't before. I just didn't know about her. I just found her. I think it was, did you just join the Creative Connection, Bree? I don't know how I recently just stumbled upon you, and now I'm just loving Upcycle by Bree, guys. Hi, Vicky. Vicky's here. Vicky says hello. So, Christy,
Yes.
there's so many things I want to say, but first, let's just start out with you telling us who you are and what you do in your business and all that stuff.
All right. My name is Christy Wright. I am with Red Echo Studio here in I'd say I'm close to the Indianapolis, Indiana area. So I do watercolors and I'm trying to turn them into cards and some stationery and prints. And then I
Nice.
also on the side paint a little furniture and sew a few quilts. I like to
Cool.
try a little bit of everything.
Nice. Very good. I watched her paint. Who? All right. If again, it's Facebook user. I apologize. I watched her paint her shoes today. Christy, did you paint your shoes today?
I did. I even have them with me.
Oh, let me see them.
Okay.
Cool.
So, I about put them in paint. I had a broken pair of
Wow.
shoes and I've had trouble trying to find new ones. So I decided to try to recycle the ones I have.
Those are gorgeous.
So I
Wow.
have to sew the strap on yet. It's like a
Those are
vintage quilt material.
okay.
But that's how they turned out today.
So you paint, what did you paint? The florals?
Uh-huh. I did all of this.
Nice.
And
What
the
paint did
strap
you
was
use?
broke. Pardon?
What paint?
I used watered down DIY.
That's what I'm going to be using tonight. I love those shoes. They're sexy, sister.
Yeah, I
They
thought,
are going to be great for the summer.
I thought they'd be kind of fun.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
I
I
was
love
happy with
them.
them. Almost done.
So, who was it that watched Christy paint her shoes today? And Marlene's here. Hi, Marlene. How you doing? So, Christy is, like she mentioned, has been painting watercolors. And when she mentioned that we were going to do watercolors tonight, I freaked a little. I'm not good at I don't know. I've taken watercolor classes and everything.
Really?
And I can't do it. It's very like you have to commit really quick. Hey,
Yeah.
oh, it's Nikki Mulligan.
Oh,
Nikki
hi,
watched you
Nikki.
paint your
Oh,
shoes.
that's
Hi,
right. I saw
Nikki.
Nikki come on. Oh, thanks
Hi,
for watching
Nikki.
today.
Cool. So what I'm going to do is instead of the watercolors, I'm going to do what Christy did with her shoes. I'm going to water down DIY paint, and I'm going to also use the Bohemian Brights because the Bohemian Brights are like an opaque. So I don't know, it reminded me of watercolors. Vicky was telling me that that would be a good idea. And I have two canvases today because only had little ones. And if you saw the inspiration photo, it's a beautiful, what kind of flower was that?
It's a tulip.
Oh,
I find that, I'm always trying to find pictures to paint. So it's up to my photography skills.
oh, because yeah, see, there's so much creativity. So you go around and you say, I can paint that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for you. All right, well, let's get started. What do we do first?
Okay. So I think what we're going to do first is lay in the pink color of our flower. Okay. So if you want to get a wash, like a thin, watered down, whatever color you want your flower to be. We don't have to do pink. I think I'm going to do pink, like try
Okay.
to match the inspiration.
Well, I brought some kissing booths.
Yay, that works.
Is that good? Okay.
That'll be pretty. So I'm going to point my camera down here a
Of
little.
course, hold on, I had a palette. I don't know what I did with it. I'll be right back.
We're going to try this at an angle. We'll see how it works. That's the bad thing about watercolor is I have to kind of lay on my table in order to say hi. It's the only angle to get it, because if I tilt my canvas up, it's all going to run all over the place. So it's a challenge. That's why if you join me this week, I still appreciate it, but I have a hard time finding comments. I need a comment reader. Okay.
Okay, sorry. I'm here. I had these in my hand. I don't know why I don't have them. Hello, everybody. If you're here, let us know your name because we're using StreamYard. Okay, so I got my kissing booth. So what are we doing?
Okay. Okay. Do
My
you
glasses.
have on your usually when I start, I have my design sketched out on my canvas. So if you want to just ad lib, and that's fine too. So I think if we do that, what would probably be best is, do you prefer to find the shape of your flower? If you were going to isolate your flower, would it be easier to do the green around where the flower is, or to work on the flower petals themselves?
I think I like your first idea. I think I like the outline, and then work from out in.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
What I just realized is I need to pull up that inspiration photo.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to kind of show my cheat.
Yeah. Oh, your cheat? Okay.
I cheat. And the reason I did it, I was taking a class one time and they told me that, while you're learning watercolors, it's okay to take a few shortcuts. So
Okay.
the idea is I can hand sketch things, but it will make it a little bit simpler if I'm just coloring in what I've already drawn, as opposed to trying to find shapes.
I did that yesterday with my sunflower. I had a canvas that already had the boho blue covered. It was just covered with boho blue. And when I came in, I sat down at my table and I had a piece of chalk. And I sketched out, I've never done this before, I just did it. I sketched out the sunflower because you know how Ukraine is the sunflower and everyone's doing that. And so that really helped me. I mean, even though the sketch was horrible, it was just really quick, but it still helped me for some reason.
I think it's a little bit more freeing for me. And then it takes some of the guesswork out as I'm putting the paint down. And I'm trying to get away from it. I do it now because it's just easier for me when I want to focus on where the paint's going, not the overall design.
Yeah,
it takes a little bit of pressure off.
That's a really good way to put it. And it's so interesting that I just did that yesterday and we're talking about this today. So I'm kind of like following you. Like wow, yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. It was easier. I didn't have to think about, oh, I have to draw it. Even though it was messy, I didn't really have to, I could fix it with my paint a little bit, but not even really thinking as much. So yeah, that was cool.
Especially on some flowers, when you got to make sure your petals, like, you don't run out of space of where to put one.
Yep.
On a sunflower or something like that. Okay, I'm going to, while you do a light, or you have the photo printed out, I'm going to at least get my green that I'm going to use. I think I'm going to get it a little bit wet on my palette.
Oh, I see the inspiration photo. Okay. So for those of you who haven't seen it, oh, this is
Looks like
the,
that.
oh, you have it there too. Oh, see, mine's really pink on mine. That's more of a coral. Yeah, so that's got a
It's
lot
okay.
of depth in it.
It's
Um,
okay.
okay,
It
I'm
can
gonna
be
tell people.
whatever color you want. Because see, I also print out a black and white
Ooh, oh, that was smart. Yeah,
because that lets me, I really need to focus on what my tones are instead of what my actual colors are. Because if I get my shades right, it won't really matter as much because that's more important to the picture rather than the colors.
I have a question for you.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, Christy and I were talking a little bit before we came on, and I asked Christy if she was part of Dan Wood's Turquoise Creative Connection, and she said, yeah, it's about 2.5 years. And I said, that's just like me. So we started about the same time. And you said to me, yeah, and you've grown so much. Well, listen to you, because you said to me that do you mind if I say this?
No,
When
it's fine.
you joined the Creative Connection, you were a quilt maker
Still
and
am.
you had not painted before.
No.
And so you're in Dion's group and you're being inspired to paint. Well, listen to you. She gets the hardest medium to paint with. Watercolor is the hardest medium to paint with.
Well, I
And
have painted before. I hadn't painted watercolors before
oh, okay.
because
Okay.
I
Because
had
I'm listening
painted
to you talk about
acrylic.
your tones and everything, and I'm like, how does
You
that's a
know, I
how do you know all
have been,
that?
since I started watercolors and since I did that very first like challenge, I have been watching video after video after video because I want to get to the point where I'm not doing the cheats. I want to understand composition because I think sometimes that's a big struggle for people
Yeah.
is it could be a really cool technique, but if you don't have the composition right, it can fall flat. And so I've really been working on that. And I
You've been
took,
working hard.
yeah, there's a guy, his name is Robert Joyner, and he does a whole bunch of abstract and just a whole watercolor series. And he focused on values, color harmonies, and doing a I don't do it all the time. This is kind of my mock-up for that of doing a value study, they call it,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
is doing like a black and white to figure out do you have enough contrast in it? And
Yeah.
then it's all into the composition of where are your lines leading, is it coming? And it's so complicated.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the part that I struggle in my art is I really wish I could get that feedback of is my composition right? So that's my next focus is that's why I cheat right now because it's easier for me to focus on those parts of it while I'm learning than how do I draw a flower?
Right, right. And you could probably, I mean, are there watercolor groups out there where you can join them and get feedback from people? And
I just joined one here in Indiana, and that was my goal for this year is to just branch out and find some people. Like I had lunch with a woman the other day that's in the group, and she's going to do a workshop in March here, but she's been painting watercolors for 20 years, and
yeah,
there's so much to learn from her. So I'm excited about that.
I think that's amazing. You're putting a lot because you found what you love. You found your thing,
I
your
think so.
niche.
Yeah. And
Good
I
for
tried
you.
it. I think, over the years with all my painting, I have tried watercolor like oh, at least 3 or 4 different times. And when I
Mm,
would use acrylics, I wanted that watercolor effect. Because when you have kids and you're reading them books, I'm fascinated by the pictures for the illustrations,
yeah,
and they're
yeah,
always watercolor,
yeah. You're right. Yeah. Now that you say that, I remember that. So this is
So
you. This is you. I mean, good for you for finding exactly what it is that you want to focus on. Because a lot of us, I don't know how you guys are out there, but I'm all over the place. I would love to have one
everywhere.
thing, you know, and I haven't found it yet, but I will. We've got Nancy Leva on. You can
Oh,
get
hi,
the
Nancy.
watercolor effect with a, you can get the watercolor effect with acrylics, Nancy said. And those asters were amazing. Did you make asters? Asters.
It has to be that kind of a flower. Probably. I don't always know what kind of flower I'm painting.
And I'm getting all these people giving you wonderful feedback. Your watercolors are always gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Art by Melanie is here. Hi, Melanie.
Hi,
How are
Melanie.
you? So nice to have you guys here. Good evening, Janice and Christie. Hello, everybody. I don't have your names because I'm on StreamYard. So if you don't mind, like dropping your names so we know. Yes, they are, she said. Nancy said, yes, they are. Whatever you said, she's yelling at you. What did you say?
I don't remember.
Because she put 2 exclamation points. And Nancy said she keeps getting better and better. So Nancy's been following you. Nancy's been following you. Christie. Oh, Christie Sturgis Flynn.
There's so many of you I admire, but you know, there's a few of you, you know, I'm always looking at Nikki's stuff. I'm always looking at Melanie's stuff. You know, it's like it's impossible for me to follow everybody in the Creative Connection, and there are so many people doing amazing things. And
Yeah.
I find, you know, I have those people who are always in my feed that it's like I'd love to support them. And Nancy and I know we kind of started about the same time, and a lot of times in the group we were sharing the same frustrations with, okay, you know, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And I just thought recently she's like been this huge role model because she opened up her home to like for an open house to show people what she was doing. And I thought that was brilliant. I had never even thought to do
I
that.
didn't realize that she opened up her home. I saw the picture, Nancy, with her lying on the couch underneath her beautiful paintings, and I didn't realize that it was in her own home. Nancy, I
It was
met
like
the
an
first.
open house.
That's cool. I met her in Galveston, Texas, with Dion Wood's Courage on Canvas retreat. I don't remember Nancy being, yep, that was from my home, she said. And yeah, Nancy's really cool. I don't know what word else to use to describe Nancy as really cool because she's a lot of things. You know what I mean? She's a lot of things. She's a great artist. She's highly, highly intelligent. She's a mom. Yeah, she's very supportive. Your watercolors are amazing. I love seeing them all. Let's get to it because everybody wants to see it. I'm so sorry I keep talking.
Okay. So I guess I would begin. Let's try doing some watered down DIY green paint.
Green?
Green.
Okay.
I'm going to turn my camera down here again.
Don't wait for me though, because I'm really slow. So I'll just
okay.
You just do your thing and talk about what you're doing, and I'll just try to follow.
All right. So,
I don't want to slow you down.
No, that's okay. I got a lot of green to put on here. So I have two jars of paint or 2 jars of water, and that was my tip for yesterday. When I first started, I didn't realize that I needed 2 different jars, like one to rinse my brush and one to pick up clean water.
Okay.
So I have 2 jars for that, and I use a roll of toilet paper.
Oh, ooh,
it's my blotter. Pretty. It becomes pretty. It's my blotter. So if I get too much paint on my brush, I'll just come over here and tap it, and it helps me control how much paint I have and how much water I have on the end of my brush. And when I'm using a bigger canvas, I will use bigger brushes because I need to match my brush to the scale of my painting.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I'm using a number 10 round brush.
Okay.
Has a nice point on the end of it, but it's a big, thick brush. Love it. And it's not my biggest one. My biggest one that I use a lot of times is a number 14 for.
Wow, beautiful. Now, those are specifically for watercolors, watercolor brushes?
The watercolor and acrylic ones will be for both.
Okay. Okay.
So, okay, I'm going to get started. I pick up
Hi,
water.
Cheryl.
Pick up water first, and I'm going to just make a spot on my palette and pick up more water and just get that nice and thinned out.
Yep.
When I do that, I can control how much pigment is in my water. And this first time, just like with DIY, how you can layer paint, I start out really light on my first layer of paint. And so I'm not going to have it bleed much at all. I'm just going to start finding my shapes of where the leaves will be around
Okay.
the petal.
Okay.
So when I do it that way, I don't have to worry if I have all my shading right. I'm just laying in, or I'm just finding where my shapes are. So like I know I have a leaf, and I'm going to start slowly outlining where my flower is. And sometimes like I just picked up paint, but since I know I want this light, I'm just going to pick up more water with what paint's already on my brush. So by picking up more water, and I do this with DIY when it's watered down too, I can spread it really thin, and I can almost do some shading on the actual canvas with it, just with water. So if you have your DIY diluted and you're picking it up with quite a bit of water, doesn't have to saturate it, but just enough, and then just kind of keep, I'm off camera here. Let me switch to another leaf. I'm just going around where my flower petals are, so I know that's green, and then I can figure out where my pink needs to be. Sometimes if I want a cool texture on my brush, or like on my painting with this thin paint, and this is a really thin watered down paint.
It goes going on so smoothly, and really the color is strong.
Pretty strong, but it will dry a lot lighter.
Okay.
And when I first started doing watercolors, that was what threw me, was I couldn't figure out my color mixing, and it would look like primary colors, you know?
Yeah.
When I would do it, it's like, oh my word, it looks like kindergarten. It's all really bright, and I want it to look natural. So it took me a while to figure out how to mix to get more neutral colors.
And I want you guys to notice the way Christy is holding her brush, because I was just doing this. And then I look at you and you're holding it. And this is the way that you get a lot more freedom and a lot more expression in your work, right? Is by by holding the brush loosely.
If I want abstract, if I want a more abstract look, which I'm working towards in mine.
Yeah, me too.
You hold it farther back.
Hold it farther back.
If you're up here, holding it up here, you're going to get in. It forces you to get in and do fine detail.
Yeah, like really close and tight.
So I have to always force myself to back it up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was struck by that. I was like, look at that. And you look beautiful doing it. You know what I mean? It's like you look more, I don't know, it looks prettier. It looks more artistic.
And one thing I do notice that took me a while to get used to, and I know it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but sometimes when I pick up a lot of paint, even if it's thin and watered down, I like to just touch it into an already wet area and just build that up a little bit. Like,
okay.
Here, let me show you.
Yeah.
Try to hold this up a little bit. See how this is puddled right here? It's going to drip on me.
Yes.
See how it's darker?
Yeah.
All I did was pounce a little bit more paint in there.
So in like, you know what? I didn't bring a bottle of water. I need to pour some water so I can do that, so I can get my canvas a little bit more wet. The continuous mist spray bottle is maybe not.
Even if you have do you have something you could spray your bottle into to get you a little, you don't need a ton of water, but a little pool of it?
Yeah, I just made one in my little palette here.
Okay, sweet. But that puddle I showed you, that little puddle where it's darker, that is the exact same paint. It's the exact same mixture of paint. It's just a higher concentrate of water.
So the higher concentrate of the water makes the paint darker. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that when you see it lighter on my page, it's because I've spread it out, so it's a thinner layer. But
Okay.
when I just pounce my brush in there, it's
Yeah.
like having a droplet of it in there. So it's a
Oh,
lot
cool.
more.
Pam Dudley is here. Hi, Pam Dudley.
Hi,
How are
Pam.
you? And Facebook user, I'm sorry. Hi, ladies. And Nancy said, LOL, that's hysterical. I don't know what she's talking about because I'm behind in reading the comments. She uses baby wipes, but never thought of getting a roll of toilet paper for my brushes. I think that's genius. I love
I
it.
did come up with it. I was watching a watercolor colorist from the UK, and that's what she used. And I thought, well, I'm going to do that because then I don't have to worry about having it in my hand all the time.
Now tell me about, I'm curious about, you said that you're watching a lot of videos and learning.
Yeah.
I'm curious about, when do you do that? Like, how do you do that? That's genius. The toilet paper's genius, Nancy said.
um, uh, I was trying, I'm always trying to find better ways to manage all of the responsibilities and things that I feel are needed for being on social media. See, and I tend to, I have to back it off. But I tried to make a calendar for a while there that said, okay, on this day, I'm going to spend my morning watching a tutorial because it's the only way I'm going to grow. And
It's like it's a school. It's like it's
yeah,
learning. It's for free. You don't have to leave your house. You can find the teacher that you're comfortable with, and it's the best.
yeah, that's been a huge learning curve for me. When I didn't have, that was before I even knew of what societies for, to have local mentors. It was before I even knew where those were. And I was intimidated. It took me a while to feel confident enough to reach out to those people, because it's intimidating going up against somebody that's been painting for 20 years. I have a
What do you
hair.
mean? What do you mean? What do you mean against somebody?
Um, as far as trying to find a local mentor,
Yeah.
I knew they were going to be people who had been painting a while, and I was still learning the basics. So I just didn't feel confident enough to be in front of, and I don't, it's kind of silly saying it now. I don't really know why.
Oh no, I bet you a lot of us listening to you understand because I remember I never painted a floral. I'm just gonna do my own crazy thing here. I'm
sorry.
That's okay. I did an upside down challenge with Dion. Did you do the upside down challenge with her?
I did not, but that sounds fun.
And that was my first floral ever. And we did it upside down. And
Oh
it came out really good. But I guess my point is that, and I don't know, maybe that's why I gravitate towards abstract, because it's like I don't really think I can do anything that looks real.
Oh, I totally get that.
And I don't even really want to.
I want it, and I think that's why we're never. I struggle with being satisfied when I do an abstract because. Okay, so one thing. When I was younger, well, not younger, when my kids were younger, the hometown or the city closest to my hometown when I grew up, they did a chalk walk. Like their fine arts museum and everything did a chalk walk during the annual festival. And I thought, oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. I needed an outlet for my art in like the worst way. I was painting murals at that point in time.
Oh, wow.
And I just, once I figured out I could paint, I just kind of was painting anything. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I had my kids come for a little bit, and then my husband took them the rest of the time, and it was July, it was hot. And I wanted to be in the contest because I wanted to see if I could win the contest because they always voted, And the entry was somebody infamous And I had to look up the word infamous. I'm like, what
Oh,
does, I know what famous means, but what's
is it
infamous?
mean famous?
It's
Fi-
like the
From the
opposite of
past?
famous.
Opposite. Okay.
Like somebody who's famous for something that they did that was bad. Like Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, okay. I got ya. I didn't realize that. All right.
I
I
didn't
would have to
either.
look that up too.
So I looked it up and I found this guy because they had to be from Indiana. So I find
Oh,
this
it had to be
guy
from
that I'd never
Indiana.
even heard of before. And I did his face. And then as I'm working, and it looked like a face, but the guy next to me, his face that he was drawing was so realistic, it could have leaped off that concrete. And I was just devastated. I'm like, okay.
I'm leaving now.
Yeah, he was that good. And it's like, mine was good, but I want it to look like that. And that's always been what I push for. And
Did he win?
like you, maybe I need to not have that battle with myself.
No. No. See, that's what I'm finding. Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know because there's two schools of thought. Like one is I'm just doing it because I'm drawn to do it. I have to do it and I love doing it, but I know I suck. And I really don't think I'll
Yeah.
ever be really good. Like I don't even strive for that. So that's probably not good. I should probably strive to be better. Whereas
You're
you,
practicing all the time. That's gets you
yes,
better.
I think practice is good. And so you're like, I always say like a real artist. Like you've been doing it a long time. You have a lot of years experience and you want to just keep getting better and better and better. I don't think it ever stops, does it?
I don't know that it stops because there's that part of me that knows I'm untrained. I'm self-taught. So there's that part of me that really, really, really wants to be recognized by the people that were trained. I don't know why.
It's almost like you want a degree. It's almost like when you get a college, some people just go to college to get a degree, like not even for like because for some reason that validates. Like
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
that they
got
could
that
do it.
attention from people who have degrees or whatever, and you don't, I mean, I think that's great. I think that I don't know whether schooling is the best thing all the time.
Well,
Self-taught doesn't mean that you don't have the talent.
I jokingly, because I like 80s rock bands. So I jokingly say I'm the Eddie Van Halen of watercolor, right? I
That's
don't know what I'm doing wrong, so I'm just going to make my own way.
I would so much rather be the Eddie Van Halen of watercolor than anyone with any degrees, whatever that they have.
Yeah, I mean, and I do think I approach it like acrylics just because that's what I painted with before. So I tend to be heavy-handed, and I know there are people that really let the water flow a lot more than I do, and I'm going to get there. This is just where
Get
I'm at
there.
right now.
Yeah, I think God, what you're doing is so beautiful, and it's like everybody is their own worst critic, but you are very interested in like the I don't want to say like the mathematics of it, but the technique and all the rules and is that a watercolor thing that people are more interested in all the watercolors? Is
I
that like
don't
a
I don't know. I think and I don't know why I want to pursue that so much, but I guess because I want the challenge of it.
yeah, you'll learn so much, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the challenge part. Okay, so I'm gonna at least show where I'm at right now. So
Okay.
I'm painting with the same color. I haven't changed how much water I've added to it. I'm basically coloring and just filling in my spots, like right through here.
Okay.
But the fun thing is I can take my brush with just water on it and I can reactivate that and just move it wherever I want and keep it as light as I want.
Beautiful.
But I'm just doing it's just water. I haven't added any more paint. I'm just activating what I have.
That is gorgeous.
So
Just
and
the way you
sometimes I'll
did
let it melt.
that line was so beautiful, really pretty. Now your greens are all different hues or tones in your greens too. Did you did that with the amount of water or
It was the same mixture of paint on my palette.
okay,
It's just a matter of how much water I have in it and how thin I spread it.
okay. I didn't draw any flowers and I don't even have my picture. I gotta look at it. Oh,
What?
I'm looking at the photo, so I'm seeing that line that you did. Like I'm seeing exactly where that is on the photo. Like that's the inside
Yeah, right now
petals.
I'm hitting, I usually work light to dark and I'm keeping this fairly light, but right now I'm just trying to find my shapes in my petals that we had.
Yeah.
So and it does make a difference on which paints I'm using, but like I haven't picked up that much paint on my brush. So I'm going to come in and pick up clean water. And when I want to kind of get an edge soften, I will lay my brush sideways and just kind of try to smear it to where it fades out. So just by doing that with water, I can smear that. Where's my camera? Okay, I gotta find it.
Oh yeah, right there.
See how it just smears it? I'm just swishing water around. And if I get too much and I want that softer, I take all the water off my brush. And while it's still wet, I'll just smear it some more using the side of my brush.
Yeah.
I'll just come in and smudge it and have that hard line there and then have it softer. So like right here, this is dry just a little bit, but it's not totally dry yet. I'm going to rinse my brush completely. I'm not even picking up anything else. I just wiped it on my toilet paper. And then I've got enough on there that I'll just come in and paint with water and soften that line even more.
Beautiful. Really pretty. Now, mine is getting muddy
Okay.
already.
Already?
Look at.
I can see the pink flower.
Yeah, but it's getting muddy because it's going into the green. See, your pinks are set like
Maybe it needs to dry more.
my colors are not, I didn't keep them separate. I should have kept them separate. All right.
You know
That's
what
why they
though?
got muddy.
No, it's okay. Because if you stop there and maybe take a dry brush, like not dry, but get your brush rinsed.
Okay.
And then kind of blot it out. And see if you can pick any of that up and pick it up once, like swipe once, and then blot that off. Like swipe once and blot that off.
Oh my gosh. You know what's happening right now?
What?
I'm doing kind of what you just said before about
okay.
just adding the water and pushing it and it getting lighter. That's
okay.
really cool.
Yeah, because you figure your flower, you're going to put another layer of paint on top of this once this dries.
Oh, okay.
And that will let you then go in and bring a harder line if you want. So you could keep it just super soft and let the greens and the pinks bleed together a little bit too.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That was great. Thank you.
Because you don't always need, you don't always need to have all of it have a hard line. Even if you came back and just had a couple of hard edges to define some of your shapes.
Yeah.
You can leave some of it blurred together. I've done
Yeah.
that. And actually, that's what I've been working on more is trying to only have my detail in like one spot of the painting and leave the rest of them blurred together. So up in the top, if I have some petals, I may mix my pink into my green.
Okay, I gotcha. So kind of like a stronger in the middle.
Or wherever my focal point is. In this case, my focal point is in the middle a little bit. And the other thing I might do too is as I'm coming in here with my darker, I'm trying to find some of my petals. So I'm putting my darker color in so it shows up on camera a little bit more. But I'm using a pretty strong pink. I haven't really mixed anything yet, but
Mm-hmm.
since the paint's diluted, I can have this pink be my undercolor, and I may go with more of a coral on top of it, and you'll still get that hint of pink.
I did bring my cowgirl coral because typically when I do, well, I learned that from Kelly Weiler. I was watching her paint flowers one time, and she used the red colors, but then she introduced cowgirl coral and bohemian blue,
Oh, that'd be pretty.
and it really gave a lot of, like, the boho blue gave a lot of depth, and the cowgirl coral kind of lightened it up a little bit, so it really helped with the layers.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think I'd try that on this inside and see. So like right now, I've got a layer of pretty strong pink in this center spot. So, and it's fairly dry, so I know it's not going to get muddy on me. So now I'm
okay.
going to come in. Now I'm going to come in with a coral color. I'm going to grab some of my pink and mix it with a little bit of orange.
Christy, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Somebody has a question for you. I'm sorry, I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me who your name is because I'm using StreamYard. Christy, would you have a recommendation of a must-have brush to begin to work with watercolors?
I would say a must-have brush for me. I grab my round brushes all the time.
Your
So
round brushes?
my round brushes, because they come to a point. So it helps me to, if I use the side of it, I'm getting a lot, of movement from the side that spreads it out. But when I want to get into a corner, I can use the point and get into a tighter spot. Sometimes if I'm working in detail
Hi,
and I
Nikki.
find, like, I would say your round brushes, like I'm using, this is just a series I got from Hobby Lobby. This is Master's Touch.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 10-inch round and it carries a lot of water. So I have to kind of watch because sometimes I'll go down to a smaller one. But I tell you, my number one go-to brushes
This is
are.
Nikki Mulligan, by the way, asking the question, Christy.
Oh, hey, Nikki. My number one brush I go to is a round brush.
Yeah.
Because it has a point on it. And the other thing that's fun with it is, like, let me see if I can find. I think I'm going to do it here. Hold on a minute. So I'm going to pick up paint. And I get quite a bit of paint on it because this is a bigger brush. I'm going to blot it once. I'm going to just tap it on my thing. And if I hold my brush sideways and I just drag it up, a lot of times I'll get like can't find the camera.
I can see it. We can see. Oh,
sorry.
Nope.
It's hard to see it. I know, I'm trying to find the camera. It leaves like lines. It's like dry brushing.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I do that,
That happened to mine too.
yeah. And
Okay,
so
cool.
by doing that, I'm almost dry brushing with it. And that way with watercolor, even DIY, if you let it dry, when I let that dry and then I paint over it, you'll still see those lines because they're underneath it. Or I'll do that on top. A lot of times I do that for grass. If I'm doing a home, like somebody commissioned me to do a home, I almost always do my grass, at least part of it, with the side of it.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
I do that a lot. One other thing I learned in one of the groups that was cool is for like, somebody, and I did use it and it did work, but for like branches of trees and stuff, because I still really struggle with landscapes, they use the side of a credit card.
Oh.
And it makes a really thin line that you can kind of get really scribbly, but it's sharper.
And it's already straight, like it's already straight too.
Well, or it's a straighter, it's kind of like painting with the side of a palette knife.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But it's easier, I think, with the credit card. I've been my new what I've been doing lately for landscapes. I think you're frozen. Uh-oh. Oh
Okay,
no. Oh, there you are.
there
Okay,
you
good.
are.
What I've been trying to teach myself landscapes, and I've always wanted to paint like a cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And I tried over the years and I can't get that cabin, and I should. Renee Smith is here. She says hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Renee.
Renee. Thank you. Guess who I've been
Congratulations on
watching?
your new venture.
Oh, I know. Renee, tell us about your venture, if you can. Oh, I can, or we could tell.
Yeah, I was following it pretty closely because I believe I had the exact same frustration that she did, and I just recently bought a printer, and
Oh.
it was a big purchase, but oh my word, I was so frustrated with not being able to get prints.
So Renee is opening up. I don't want to speak wrongly. You know more. Why don't you tell us a little bit more, Christy, about what she's doing?
I don't know a whole lot other than what I assumed I understood, which was I think she's going to offer prints to other fellow artists to be able to
Yeah.
make their prints for them.
Now, is it Renee? Is it prints? Is it other things too? Like if we wanted a piece of art on a
You
like
think
how
cards?
like cards and like fabric, like dresses. I've seen art on dresses. Pam Dudley said yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to hold this up. So can you still see my previous lines
Yes, I
underneath
can.
that pink?
Yeah. Oh God, that looks gorgeous.
So it stay, your lines, your marks stay there. So that's the fun
Pam
part.
Dudley said cards and prints will come later in larger sizes.
Ah.
So it's gonna
Well,
grow.
I've been working on
This is
since I'm accumulating equipment and no product yet, but I'll get there. I'll get it all figured out.
That's like me. I'm like, I'm really good at spending the money and buying the things, you
I want,
know?
well, and it's about control. It's like I wanted my watercolors on notebooks and journals. So I tried like 3 different manufacturers, and there were parts that I liked about some and parts I didn't like. So then I
Yeah.
want to do those. So I have now binding equipment to make my own journals and planners.
Oh, wow.
But my stereotype for my or not stereotype, my prototype, I made one for my daughter for Christmas, and so she's been testing it out, and we've had problems with it. So I'm reworking it. So I'm really close on a lot of things. I just don't have all of it quite ready to
Are you
say
the
yes.
Christy Wright who makes that beautiful planner?
No, but I can use that name. No, I can't.
It's the same name because you're
It's
talking
a different
about,
Christie, right?
yeah, because I bought it. I bought that planner
That's
because
not me.
it's not you. I've been wondering and I didn't want to ask, but then you started talking about how you want to make planners. I'm like, oh my God, maybe that is
It's
the
her.
Christy Wright.
No, I wish it was. That's not me. But I
I
wish.
bought it, but I have yet to use it. And I do not have a flower here. I have brains. I have brains on my, it's terrible. Nancy, oh, Janice, that's me too. I'm always buying paints and brushes and pens to try. Yeah.
Well, my mom gave me, she's just as bad. She gave me her, she bought a sublimation printer. Have you heard about those?
I've heard about them and I've been hearing about them more and more. What is it? What is it?
So when I tried to do my planner, before I got my printer, I tried printing them out and I tried laminating them. So then I'm back on YouTube trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to laminate them? And so I bought this lamination material that's supposed to not need, it like adheres to the paper. So I don't have to have an edge. Like a normal laminator, it has to stick to the lamination material has to stick to the other lamination material. So you have to leave like like an eighth of an inch where they connect. So I can't cut it all the way to my paper edge
Oh,
because it kind of sandwiches between those two plastic layers. So I bought this other kind of laminate and I misjudged how much it was. Like not price wise, but how much quantity. I have like an industrial size roll
oh,
of this lamination material. So I'm like, okay, now I have to use this. So then I was researching printing on that. And a lot of times they'll use this material on top of like a coaster or anything. So then I can use the sublimation printer to heat transfer it onto it.
oh,
So
wow.
I'm kind of playing around with using that. I did a sample the other day. Let me get my sample.
Okay. Renee, hi. We were just talking about your new business. And Pam Dudley was filling us in. Oh, that's beautiful.
So this was what I printed, and this is all like heat pressed onto my lamination material that feels like velvet. So it has like when my daughter felt it, she goes, "Hey mom, that's legit." I'm like, "Oh, finally."
That's a big compliment.
And it gives me a fairly thick paper. It's
Wow.
bowed. So I'm still playing with prototyping it, but this was
And
the
that's your
closest.
painting. That's your beautiful water painting.
Yep. So I'm getting closer. I don't have anything I'm ready to like say that's totally done, but I'm this close on a lot of things.
It's
And
like
then I get distracted and say, "Oh, hey, I need a staging wall." So, I'm
oh,
gonna
yep. There's just too much, there's too many things to do. And especially when we're looking at social media and we're seeing what everybody is doing, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, jumping in the rabbit hole. I don't know.
Oh
I think I
yeah.
was talking to Nancy about this. Yeah, there's too much to do.
There
Hi,
is.
ladies. Christy, the print is awesome.
Thank
Wow,
you.
Christy, that's amazing, Nancy said. And Renee said it was gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm getting there.
You might be closer than you think.
Yeah, I have my shipping materials ready. So I know what I'm going to use to ship it. That was another issue, is trying to figure out how to figure my shipping, because I want to do different sizes, but yet it's a big investment to order plastic sleeves in different sizes
So these would be for your prints?
for cards or,
For cards, yeah.
or for prints. So like prints, I'd like it to be a snug like sleeve to put the finished print in or
Yeah.
a card in.
Yeah.
But they're different sizes. And I'm like, they only, to do it, somewhat affordably, they come in packs of 100. So I didn't want to have 100 of each possible size.
Each possible size, yeah.
Same with shipping envelopes. So it was trying to come up with, and I think I have it, it's been trying to come up with a solution that would meet all different sizes of what I end up printing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm closer, but yeah,
there's so much, there's so much involved. It's not,
because if I don't know that, I don't know what price to put on it,
Shipping was it's still, I'm having a hard time with shipping. I actually ship out of Etsy and I ship out of my website. So Etsy, this is totally undifferent than what you're doing.
No, that's okay.
But it's just
Still
when talking about shipping, there's so much involved and it's a lot of work because once you have all that product, I sell IOD and DIY, but the reason why I say IOD, are you a retailer? DIY retailer?
No.
IOD comes up with new product all the time.
Oh my.
So what am I talking about? Oh,
shipping.
So every single time a new product comes on, I have to put it on my website, my Etsy shop. I got to put it on my Square. That's where my register in here. Inventory. It goes to so many different places. But what I like about Etsy is I add shipping in on Etsy. Like the price says free shipping, but it's not. You add it in. So the product is more money on Etsy, but that's because it includes the shipping. On my website, I can't do that.
Oh, really?
So I guess I could, but the prices they would look higher to everybody. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
So
And that's a whole debate.
every solitary product, I have to go in there and I have to add the weight and all the dimensions. And you can't just say, okay, if it's a stamp, do this weight and this dimension. If
Yeah.
it's a stamp, I have to go in there every single one. I got to weigh them. And it sounds like, yeah, Janice, you got to do that. You have a
Yeah.
business and this you got to do. I don't want to do
But
that.
it's time consuming.
It's very time
It's
consuming
very
and
time
it's
consuming.
so tedious. But because I haven't done that, this is what I tell everybody, go to my website and buy things because shipping is so cheap. Yeah, I can't get it to calculate correctly. And I would rather calculate it low than high because,
Yeah.
so it's
Well,
like,
and I've lost, and there's such a learning curve with that because I've lost so much of because I still kind of underprice things, but I still underestimate shipping sometimes. It's like I'll think I know what it is and I'll do it yeah, it's a whole learning curve. I did a watercolor for a friend the other day, and since it's a friend, I wanted to wait till I had shipping to bill her,
yeah.
because it was something she was willing to pay me for, but I didn't want to wait for her to send me the money.
Oh, okay.
It's that whole
Yeah.
timing. So I sent it to her because I'm like, okay, I know she's good. She'll get it to me, but it's like,
It's guesswork.
it's still, there's boundaries. I'm not quite ready to set yet that I know I need to probably.
Janice, have you tried U-Ship? No. And Vicky, I now have hired somebody to work with me because I'm just a
Good.
disaster. And her name is Vicky, and she's talking to me about U-Ship. So Nancy is recommending U-Ship again. So I need to get into that. We have Derek Carlton. Hi, ladies.
Hi,
Derek. How are you? Stressful Facebook user, I don't know who it is. I'm so sorry. Stressful, really. Different products have different shipping and pricing, makes it hard. Yeah. I just wish there was one, like, because of it's so many different places, you have to do it. Like I said, the Etsy, the website, the Square, it's all over the place. Like, I wish we could just have one little thing and it just upload everywhere, like blast it all out everywhere. So
that's why I'm behind on Facebook, my Facebook shop, because I was doing my website, I was trying to do Etsy, and then I was doing that, and I'm sure, knowing technology, there are places where somebody has figured out how to tie it all together. I am not to that point yet, so I'm like,
no, I think we're going through what we have to go through to get to the point where we can sound like how you were talking earlier about,
it just
be
takes
knowledgeable, you'd be experienced. Because me being in a retailer, I'm in the retailer groups, so shipping comes up a lot, and some of these ladies, I mean, they know their shipping, and I don't think I'll ever get there. So it's Jessica from Abracadabra is here.
Oh, hi, Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. Pam Dudley says she has used U-Ship. Thinking, yes, let's just sync all the data. Why do I have to input it 12 times?
Yeah.
Yep, third parties all ready to take your money. Yes.
Yes.
I love U-Ship. I'm hearing a lot of good things about U-Ship.
The other one that I use for my smaller pieces is I use somebody in Dion's creative group recommended Ship Easy.
Oh, okay.
And I use those. I use that all the time because it lets me print out my ship label at home.
Yep, so does U-Ship too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I go to the post office Vicky's like, when you're just alone and you just do things, so I'm just going to the post office every day and whatever. She's like, why don't you print the labels off at your store? And I'm like, because I don't know how to.
I went to our post office the other day because I had bought a label for on Ship Easy, and I took it up. I waited in line. I took it up to the counter, and the lady looks at me. She goes, "Honey, this is UPS, not U.S. Postal Service."
Oh.
That's at their own place.
That took me forever in the beginning. Randy was like, when I was first started and I had to ship stuff, Randy's like, well, you're going to use UPS or USPS? I'm like, what? And they the same. What do you mean? What's USPS and UPS? Like, I'm 58 years old and I didn't even know what the difference was.
I I I thought I knew, but I had a mistake. So I was like, oh
Kim
well.
S. Kim S. Meaning Kim Sprato. Kim S. suggested I open a FedEx business account. You
Oh,
can put in dimensions and get prices. Kim ships a lot of
over
furniture.
earrings.
She's doing those armoires, those jewelry
Oh,
armoires, and so I'm sure she's got it down. She knows what she's doing. Um, Third party for this and that, and on and on. So hard to keep up, and it kills me. I'm happy mood dolls quick with those peeps. Is
who
that
said that?
who is that Facebook user? Is that Nikki? Third party for this and that and on and on. So hard to keep up, it kills me. I'm happy mood dolls quick with those peeps. That is a cool statement. I love it.
Oh, that's great. One of these days, we're gonna look back and say, "Oh gosh, remember those days when we were
And we're
trying
gonna
to
be
figure it
so we're
out?"
gonna know everything. Third parties rob us all.
Oh yeah.
Well, Etsy's taking a lot of money. Is this Christie? I bet you this is Christie Sturgis Flynn. Who's saying that?
Oh, I think I messed up.
Oh, I'm sorry, because we're talking
No,
too
no, no,
much.
no, no. You're good. I think I painted a petal green. That's all right. I'm just gonna go over it. I know I
Okay.
won't totally hide it, but we're gonna make it look like it's shadow.
I really don't think that I don't think that this is for me. And plus, if I sat down and really focused and um looked at the inspiration photo and
Yeah.
really focused, maybe I can salvage these, but I was just having so much fun talking to you guys.
I know. I should have said something earlier about having you transfer the design. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's
I didn't.
okay. No, that's okay. Oh, it's Miss Abra who's talking about the third parties. It's Jessica.
Oh,
Yeah. Jessica, so what do you ship? Do you ship out furniture? Or like what is your biggest thing that you ship?
oh, that was a green petal. Oh well.
It's 9:05.
Oh, you
That's
tell
okay.
me whatever you want to do. That's fine.
I definitely can't work on these because they're horrible and I'm not focusing. But what I'll do is my goal for my life for the next 3 months for this 100 days is to finish things because I never finish anything. I do a live with somebody and then I go away and I have unfinished stuff all over the place. So
Well, I get that, but that's hard to do because some things take a long time to finish, you know?
yeah, but I need stuff in my store.
Oh,
People come in and there's like nothing here, you know.
you'll get it.
So this is Jessica. I have shipped out furniture now with U-Ship only 3 times now, and I love it. She loves U-Ship. I started with a Clover, but it wouldn't sync to my Wix website.
Oh.
Wouldn't sync to my Wix website. That's what I'm talking about, third party. Okay.
Yeah.
My website is GoDaddy. Marlene's here. I am sure it is harder if you are trying new things all the time. Yeah, well, that's true too. But I'm so happy to have you here, Christy. I really, really appreciate it. I hope that you would like to come on again another time. And I gotta make sure I watch you live because
I'd love to
everybody
come
is
back
saying
another time. Thank you
they're
for having me.
watching you and your stuff is awesome and you're a wonderful teacher. And I think that, you know what, maybe some of those, you're better than those other people. Don't worry about those other people. Don't worry about them because your work is stunning and you're taking your work and you're growing it into other things too.
I need to, that's my goal. That's what my goal for this year is. I had 3. One is
Okay.
to exercise more.
Me too.
One is to have products available for Christmas because I need to do it now. And I want to do what Nancy did with like have an open house gallery and just test things. So I have a plan. And then the other is to test myself with this watercolor society. I want to try to learn as much as I can and grow it. But in order to, at this point, as I'm learning, I find, especially with watercolor, I need to get them on other products. So that's where the stationery and things. So that's why I'm hoping to take it that route.
Yeah, and I think that they're beautiful. And you know what just popped into my head when you said that?
What?
People don't, they nobody uses cards anymore, or no, everything is email. And I believe that it's got to come back. It's got to come back.
Yeah.
I think I'm seeing it. Are you seeing it coming back?
I'm seeing it come back.
Yeah,
and a lot
thank
of times
God.
I will have people that like my work, but they want that option of, well, I don't need it on my walls necessarily, but do you have a card? Do you have it as a tab? Do you have a journal? So I think I could reach a wider audience, but I'm still going to push, my originals and prints. But I do get requests for people to say, hey, do you have cards?
I love the idea of the journal too, because the journal is a personal thing. You look at it like every day. So you probably look at it more than something that's even on your wall. So I love the idea of the journal, and that journal, the goal planner thing, like you could even like have inserts in your journal. Like it doesn't have to just be the cover. It could be like you could do a monthly journal
which was
something.
why I wanted the ability to put it together myself. So that's why when I say I've been accumulating machinery and parts.
This is fun.
It's
for us, not
for
for
that. Yeah.
This is fun. So we're gonna get to watch all this happen and grow, and then we'll buy all this stuff for Christmas. So get it ready, girlfriend. We need this stuff for Christmas.
I know.
Everyone's getting cards for Christmas.
I need it by June. So.
Well, thank you so much. Nancy says she's planning a spring open house in April.
Oh, good.
Marlene said there's always a catch. And let's talk, Christie, whenever you want. Nancy said, let's talk whenever you want.
I'll be talking to you.
All right, cool. Nancy, I was talking to Dion today because of the Empowered by Design. She's telling me about the she's having her retreat again in early April. Oh. And have you ever been on any of the retreats?
I went to the one in Oklahoma City last year.
Okay.
Because I pulled a prank on her.
Oh, cool.
No, she was talking about the chapel, and she had this story about the chapel of something that happened to her there. And it was very humorous because, it was just funny. And so I hand painted her a toilet plunger. And gave it to her.
That's awesome. That's great.
I have this ornery side, and I was like, oh, I got to do something. And
good for you. I love it. She probably laughed hysterically.
She said she still has it. So it's the prettiest toilet plunger you've ever seen.
I like a pretty toilet plunger. Pam said thank you. Pam Dudley said thank you, Christie. And yeah. So thank you so much. I'm gonna head home. The toilet plunger was epic. I guess Nancy was there. She posted about it. You're famous for that. Oh, somebody just came on. Hello, ladies. Hi, Facebook user. I'm sorry, I'm using StreamYard, so I don't know your name, but we're just about to sign off. So go catch the replay. Christie gave us some wonderful tips for watercolors. And when you're done with your watercolor, would you mind posting it or sending me a picture of it or whatever so I can post it for everybody? Okay. All right. I got to go. Nancy said, thanks, ladies. So much fun. Have a great night. Thanks for joining. Christie, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Janice. I appreciate it.
All right. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone.